Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, for a real treat on Saturday night, the World Middleweight Championship between Gennady Golovkin and Sergiy Derevyanchenko, live and exclusively on Dazn, streamed across the US, and we cannot wait for a stellar event, and as I said, the World Middleweight Championship at the Mecca of boxing. Isn't sport great? Isn't boxing great? And there's a lot of things as fans that you just got to see. You know, you got to see Tiger Woods on the back nine at Augusta. You got to see LeBron James slam dunking on the court. You got to see the likes of Federer, Nadal, gracing Wimbledon. And you got to see Gennady Golovkin knocking someone out live. There's nothing quite like it. I've seen it. You've seen it. This is the big drama show. This is the Mecca of boxing. And this is the opportunity for Gennady Golovkin to become a two-time world middleweight champion. His opponent, we know very well. Great team of people, great fighter, Sergiy Derevyanchenko. Great amateur record. We saw him in the theatre, run Danny Jacobs close for the world title. Now, with his trainer, Andre Rozier, back in tow, with Lou DiBella, with Keith Connolly. Great team of people looking to capture the World Middleweight Championship as well.
As always, we're extremely excited to host another great night of championship boxing here at the Garden, at the Mecca of boxing. There's no better place to see a boxing match than Madison Square Garden. I want to welcome Gennady back to the Garden, the big drama show. As everybody knows, we have a tremendous and great relationship with Gennady. This will be his 7th fight here at the Garden. There's nothing like the great fans of New York, his great fans, and there's nothing like, as Eddie said, a fight with Gennady here at the Garden. Saturday night, he's going to face a really tough opponent in Sergiy. We've seen him fight here before. His fight, if anybody remembers, his fight against Danny Jacobs here was just an incredible fight. So he's going to put up a great match and a great fight against Gennady. He's a former Olympian, a winner, and he's really hungry. So I think this has got all the ingredients, and it's almost a pick'em fight. It's all the ingredients for just a great, great fight.
We believe we have the strongest schedule in the history of boxing. Kicks off properly this weekend with a fantastic fight, which we'll talk about today, but it's only a part of a wonderful 4 or 5 night schedule in the next 2 or 3 months. It's really going to capture the attention of not only boxing fans, but broader sports fan community across the United States. As Eddie mentioned, the rematch of the biggest heavyweight upset in some time in Ruiz-Joshua 2 on December the 7th. Before that, Canelo Alvarez, arguably pound for pound, best boxer in the world, up against Kovalev in Vegas on November the 2nd. And then a fantastic, in my opinion, not all of you will agree with me in the room, but a crossover bout to bring a whole new audience into the sport of boxing the following weekend, KSI Logan Paul 2. But as I mentioned, it all kicks off this weekend here at the Garden with Gennady Golovkin, our great partner, back in action, in title action here at the Garden. We're tremendously excited about that. And we welcome both fighters to New York.
3 days away from the big event and the biggest opportunity of Sergiy Derevyanchenko's life. And spending the last couple of days with him, I can legitimately say the kid is not nervous. He's as cool as a cucumber, and he's ready for the fight. And you don't have 410 amateur fights and win 390 of them and not have a chance to win the middleweight title against Triple G on Saturday. He's a live underdog. I know he's a 4-1 underdog, but it's going to be a close competitive fight, and he definitely has a chance to pull it out.
As great as I think this man is right here, and I think he's one of the greatest of all time, he'll walk into the Hall of Fame on the 5th anniversary of the day he stops fighting. And the greatest fighter ever to come out of his country, one of the greatest fighters ever to come out of Eastern Europe. All good things must end. And we're not bringing Sergiy Derevyanchenko. He's not showing up Saturday night just to compete. He's showing up to win. As great a fighter as Triple G is, he knows what I'm about to say. When you're a great fighter, not every fight in your career do you stand to have a real opportunity not to be successful. You're often not in there with people that belong with you, because you're that good. Maybe 5, 6 times in a career, particularly these days, hopefully It'll be more than that, and in the future, every fighter will fight the best fights available to him. But, you know, Triple G has always done that. He's fought the best fights available to him, and he's always been that much better. He's in the ring Saturday night with a guy that belongs. And our Saturday night, Sergiy Derevyanchenko is going to upset the apple cart. He's going to shock the world, and it's going to be another night that people walk out of Madison Square Garden going, wow, what did I just see?
Because this young man to my left is the best athlete anyone can ever work with. Anyone. We're fortunate enough to have him in our family. And he knows that. He doesn't say a lot. He's a very quiet individual. It's either yes or no. And sometimes it's a shake of a head. But his work ethic, his dedication to the sport, and his diligence in rising to the top is why he's going to be victorious on Saturday. This young man to my right, I'm going to start calling him nephew because I see him so much. This is the third time we have to see each other. And I think after that, we're going to go down to City Hall, and I'll get the paperwork ready, and I'll call him Nephew Triple G. But he's a fantastic young man. He's always been a consummate professional when I have had the chance to face him. And this, I would assume, will be the same thing. He's going to come ready to rock and roll, ready to be that special individual. But we have a major, major force that he will be facing on Saturday.
Saturday night, I'm ready for rock and roll. Thank you.
Most fighters dream of fighting here at the Mecca, but to do this for the 7th time, I believe, and Sal or Joel would know, he's the active fighter with the most fights here at the Mecca Boxing at Madison Square Garden. So we're proud of that. We're proud to have built him here at the Garden. He always brings excitement. You see the theme of this show is the big drama show, because regardless of who he fights, what style, he always makes it exciting. Even if the fighter is very defensive, Gennady finds a way to knock them out. He had a 23 knockout streak at one time. He had a historic middleweight championship defenses of 20 title defenses. And tonight, Saturday night, is going to be his second run. He's going after 2 of his titles to become a 2-time middleweight champion of the world.
Triple G and I are looking forward to this fight on Saturday night, and I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. I think it's going to be a tooth and nail type of fight, and looking at even for me, way before this fight was announced, I was always looking at Derevyanchenko, and I always thought he was a good fighter. And I just think this is going to be one of the fights that everybody going to keep standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down, because I think it's going to be like another 4th of July when the bell rings. I think it's going to be another but fireworks. I think just looking at the styles of the 2 individuals, it just makes a good fight. And I was sitting down, I kept looking at my man in the front row with the Gotti Ward shirt on. And I just kept looking at it, thinking about this fight, kept looking at it. And those were 2 guys, I'm making a reference, and those were 2 guys that were tailor-made for each other. If you put them anywhere in the world and they fight, they all gonna come out the exact same way. It's gonna be a tooth and nail type of fight. And I believe that this fight is gonna be that tooth and nail type of fight.
I'm so happy, really. So happy because, just great boxing time is coming. I'm happy because, my opponent, look at this team. So great, so strong. Everybody's ready. Everything is ready, I want to say thanks people who support boxing, who support me, who support this show, this Dazn company, all my partners, all sponsors, all people who support me in boxing sport. This is a great time for me, a great time for boxing right now. I want to speak like a fighter, like a boxer. I'm ready. I'm so excited. We have a lot of time for great prepare for this event. Please, guys, if you like real fight, don't miss this fight. I see you on Saturday night. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, fellas.